Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another knife review. This is actually part 2 of the Mini Simba Tactical Interframe Front Flipper with marble carbon fiber with IKBS, and it is a front flipper designed by John Arnold. He's a South African knife maker. And I wanted to do part 1 and part 2 on this because it's a very special purchase for me. I'm actually having to go custom. I really don't know at this point in time. I don't even know where my knife collection is going to go because this particular knife was incredibly expensive, and I actually don't even want to talk about it anymore. So I just want to kind of focus on the actual knife itself, should you guys decide to go custom. If any of you guys think about going custom. First off, this was not an easy purchase for me. In fact, I never would have gotten this knife at this point in time, except for the fact that I discovered a store. And I can't talk about these guys enough. This is the Epicurean Edge here in Washington. They are the largest store that sells custom knives. Now, this is not the normal way that people get custom knives. I'm going to be honest with you. This is sort of what I call cheating with getting custom knives in the custom world. So basically, the way custom knives work is, I'm not sure whether you guys are aware of it, but the way custom knives are actually bought is you go online. Maybe you maybe might Google custom knives, and you might run across a custom knife maker that you may have heard of. The knife maker is probably at this point in time well known. In this case, this knife is made by John Arnold. John Arnold is a knife maker on the rise. Like I said, he's a retired architect. So I'm going to just go ahead and give you guys a quick shot look at the knife as I talk. He's a retired knife maker in South Africa who makes knives part-time. And basically that's what he's doing now. He's on the rise. He doesn't have an actual website. So what he does, he and other knife makers that are on the rise, they use the Epicurean Edge to advertise their work. So they send the Epicurean Edge. He sends the Epicurean Edge, and other custom knife makers send he sends Epicurean Edge his knives, and he's allowed to use the Epicurean Edge as a place to show his work. And also gain some popularity through buyers. Now, the way custom knives are actually done is you're supposed to go online, maybe go to Instagram, maybe through a friend you may have heard of a custom knife maker that you heard of or that you liked, or maybe your friend had a knife that was made by a custom knife maker. And what happens is you go online and you build a relationship with the guy that built the knife. In my case, I did not do that. I went through the Epicurean Edge, which is a store that sells custom knives, one-of-a-kind custom knives. This is a one-of-a-kind piece. Just to show you, this is the certificate of origin signed by John Arnold. And this is the actual piece that describes what the knife is. As you can see, it's called the Simba Small Tactical Liner Lock Front Folder with IKBS in the pivot. And I gotta tell you guys may have experienced, if you guys have never experienced IKBS, it is incredibly smooth. Very, very smooth. I have never had a knife as smooth as this. Even in essence, my, say, zero tolerance 0652 carbon fiber knife, that's pretty smooth. This is actually drop shut smooth, but you don't really, it's not a continuous smoothness. Basically just drop shut. With this knife, you actually feel the knife in your hand slowly closing and then dropping shut. I mean, It is just ridiculous. Now, with KBT ball bearing systems, knives this small usually do not have that sort of smoothness. I mean, it is just absolutely insane the way that feels to me. And it's a small knife. Usually with KBT, it's usually a balance between the handle and the weight of the blade that allows the knife to fall shut. But because the ball bearings in IKBS are basically housed in a round, like, trench where all the ball bearings are in there, held together with grease, it really produces a very smooth action. So, and again, it's a front flipper. So basically you just shoot, you take the knife and you can either do it with your thumb, where you pull back with your thumb, or you can do it with your index finger. And the idea behind a front flipper is the clean look of the knife. You don't have the pocket pecker on a regular flipper. And when you go inside your pocket to grab the knife, or maybe grab your keys, there's nothing interrupting it. This knife is just absolutely well built. Everything on this knife, with the exception of the blade, was done by hand. Everything. You can tell, too. The craftsmanship on this piece is definitely stellar. I mean, really stellar. That black marble carbon fiber, it just shoots out elegance. I can see myself wearing this with, say, a suit or something dressy. The blue titanium liners are just absolutely gorgeous on this thing. They are just absolutely, look at that in the light. It's almost like they glow. Really very pretty. It's got a blue titanium pocket clip. Really pretty. Just absolutely spectacular. So anyway, yeah, when you get a custom knife, usually people try to build a relationship with the knife maker. Over time, you can actually get the knife maker to ask him to make a knife for you, if you're lucky enough to have that happen. And getting a custom knife is supposed to be a whole experience. You know, you go to the custom knife maker, you build a relationship, you say, hey, can you build me a knife? The guy builds you one based to your specifications. Obviously, he has some free hand on how the knife looks. He's probably going to ask you a few basics, like what color would you like? What kind of inlay would you like to have on it? What's the size of the knife? Those are actually in your control. The rest is done by the custom knife maker, where he puts his actual finishing touch on the piece that you ordered. The thing about custom knives is that they do take a long time to actually get. If you're going to go that route and get a custom knife, you have to keep in mind that an artist is creating your piece. Because even though this is a knife, let's keep this in mind. Even though this is a custom knife and it's an actual knife per se, we have to understand that this is actually a piece of what I like to call mechanical art. I actually kind of like to call them mechanical oil paintings, to be honest with you, because this is actually one of a kind. I am the only person in the world that owns this actual piece. There is not another one like it, and that's basically how custom knives work. Many times you get a custom knife, it's just a one-off. Your friend may have something similar to what you have, but he may have maybe brown inlay, maybe the entire knife's a different color, maybe it's got a different custom pivot on there, it doesn't look quite like mine, the jimping might be different, so there's going to be a lot of things that's going to be completely different between your knife and, say, your friend's knife, should he get a custom piece. So when you buy a custom knife, you're going in for the whole experience. But in my case, if you don't want to wait, I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to build it really. I just wanted a custom knife. I wanted one right now. So I went to the Epicurean Edge, and they have an entire cabinet full of custom knives by so many different designers. Each one has their own certificate of origin or certificate of authenticity. And each knife maker has their own card that may not look like this, but it's got the signature of the artist that designed the knife. It's got the date that the knife was born. If you guys have ever owned a Sebenza, it's the same thing. Very basic. These knives, obviously, as you know, they don't come in boxes, but what they do is they will supply you with a fleeced case. So you get a case to put the knife in. It's actually a canvas type case. The labeling, I actually put the labeling on there. It's actually not even staying. It's starting to come off. I don't know how I'm gonna have that, but I wanted something to be put on the knife that explained what it was when I grabbed it. All in all, I gotta say the experience of getting a custom knife was just a lot of fun. Granted, what I paid for this is just, it's ridiculous. It's way up there. I don't want to talk about prices when it comes to custom knives. I've decided that if I'm going to start to go custom, I'll get a few of them, but I won't talk about the price. Like I said, if you want to find out how much this knife actually costs, just go and Google it online, and you'll probably find a knife that's very similar to this piece, and you'll be able to find out how much it actually costs. Because I'm actually kind of just don't want to talk about it anymore. But no matter what, I can honestly tell you that I am very, very happy with the piece, and I'm going to go back for more. It's going to take some time, obviously. I'm not going to be buying these like I would say, a regular custom production knife like the 00562 carbon fiber. I don't know why I'm having difficulty saying that. But this is basically the crossing over of going from functioning tool that has some customization on it, like say maybe a slab of carbon fiber on it, in this case, gold screws, which is very, very basic, to going to something actually made by hand by somebody. And that's what you're paying for, is the uniqueness, the art, the mechanical art. That is what you're paying for as far as how the knife was designed, because you have to keep in mind that one guy made this knife from start to finish, as opposed to something like this, where you have a designer, in this case it's Rick Hinderer, who basically makes custom knives. He goes into, with zero tolerance, with a prototype, and then Zero Tolerance takes it over and says, well, we like the carbon fiber, but we don't like this pivot, or we don't like that costs too much. And then you come up with what's called a collaborated piece, production piece. So you're talking about a knife that was made on a machine designed by Rick Hinderer. And obviously my knife and a lot of our knives were never ever really made by Rick Hinderer, if we're talking a Zero Tolerance production piece. But in this case, that's not the case. Now, granted, John Arnold is not a well-known knife maker, okay? But he did make this knife by hand, folks, and that's what counts. And I can see the craftsmanship in this piece and all the work that went into making this knife. So, there you have it. The Mini Simba Tactical Interframe Front Flipper with marble carbon fiber, which runs on IKBS ball bearing system. Any thoughts or comments, please put your comments below. I really would appreciate it. Like I said, I'm currently working on my website, on my channel, hoping that I'll put some graphics on there, something to sort of excite it up. But in the meantime, if you like what you see, just go ahead and click on the shark on the left-hand side of the video, and click like and subscribe. And please comment on this video if you have any comments on it, or maybe you guys are thinking about going custom. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to say. You can ask me any questions about it. Still ask me how much it costs. And of course, if you're here in Washington, again, please check out the Epicurean Edge. These guys are absolutely fantastic. They're actually my friends now. This guy, Nick and Caitlin and Jeffrey and, of course, Daniel, the president, all those guys down there at the Epicurean Edge, they've been incredibly helpful to me in picking out my first custom. So there you have it, the Mini Simba Tactical in a frame front flipper with marble carbon fiber by John Arnold. And this is Omar once again signing off, hoping you'll find happiness in your next piece, and in this case, real sharp art. Check that out. That is just absolutely fantastic. And I'll see you guys in the next video, because I have another surprise for you. This is not the only custom I got. I got another one coming up. So this is Omar signing off, the Knife Shark guy, and I'll see you in a bit.